Ah, I'm not even going to do a fancy intro because I'm about to hang myself as a New York Jet fan. But this is the worst case scenario podcast, and the New
This is
York
the worst case
Jets.
scenario
Yeah,
situation for the Jets.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. I mean, I'm so frustrated. I want to yell, but I've already yelled as much as I can, and I'm about over it. The New York Jets have once again done what they do. This is a Jetsy thing that they would do,
Jets.
trading for Geno Smith. And, you know, it's, I see, they got me so much to where I can't even get my words out because it's like, why? That's the one word that I can get out. But why? Why did we trade for Geno Smith? Like, I just, I don't get it. But you know what, Bennett? For once, I'm going to let you ask me the questions as the host today because maybe that way I can answer them better. But you go ahead. What we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is we're talking about the New York Jets traded with the Raiders for 35-year-old journeyman Geno Smith. He's coming back to New York, where he started his career in 2013, where we drafted him, where he played for about 4 years until he owed a guy some money, didn't pay him, got punched in the jaw, broke his jaw, and the rest is history. But Bennett,
All right,
oh
let me
my
go
God.
at it this way. Let me go at it this way. And I don't agree with this at all. And I think it's bonkers why the Jets would do this. But let me instead, because we both know it's not very good, let me play devil's advocate here and say, will the Jets solidify their quarterback room knowing that they're in transition with an experienced guy that has plenty of snaps and experience? So somebody to at least not right the ship, but like steer the ship through the murky waters this year. And you would come back to me and say, what would you say to that?
Say it again now. I'm sorry. D'Lo was talking about me beating my lady after the Geno Smith trade on the comments.
No, what I was saying is, let me play devil's advocate and say a reason why this is not that bad, which I think it's terrible. But just so
Hold on. And let me add to this, as D'Lo let me know, they're talking with bringing in Carson Wentz as his backup. What
yeah,
the fuck are we doing in Gotham? Like, seriously. But go ahead and ask your question. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to get the truth out. I'm going to lay some truth for all you people out there watching and listening.
what I'm saying is Geno Smith has plenty of experience. I mean, what else was you going to do this year? Is it not the right thing to do? At least try to go out and get an experienced quarterback.
No. What he's done is what did he do last year? The Raiders brought him in after the Seahawks dumped him because they got Sam Darnold. So they dumped him. He goes to Seattle. He signs a 3-year, $100 million contract there. Now, I was wrong earlier. D'Lo was talking to me, and I said that the Jets were eating the contract, but it does look like the Raiders are going to eat most of the contract, and we're basically just paying him a veteran minimum, about $1.3 million for the season coming up. That
And you gave up a draft pick for the trade, right? You gave up a draft pick for him.
We gave up a draft pick, but we got one back. We gave up a 6-rounder, and we sent them a 6-rounder, and they sent us a 7th-rounder and Geno Smith's dead carcass. So, my whole thing is,
what did you envision the Jets looking like this year at quarterback?
I was looking. Well, if you're asking me as a Jet fan, what would I have wanted them to do instead of going out and getting Geno Smith, who just played so horrible that he led the Raiders to the number 1 draft pick?
He was the worst quarterback in the league last year.
Yeah.
The worst.
Yeah, through 17 interceptions, through 19 touchdowns, just whatever. I envisioned them. I had heard rumblings that I didn't mind about David Carr. And then I would have been more likely, I would have been more happy or more okay with them going along the lines of going out and trading for Kirk Cousins than Geno Smith. At least Geno Smith had 2 good seasons in Seattle, and that's it. And the last 2 seasons have been garbage, but those 2 seasons, one that got him, I think he made the Pro Bowl both years, but it led him to the playoffs in 22, and then also made the Pro Bowl in 23. But those are the only 2 good seasons that he has. That is the sample pool of Geno, and he did it later on. He's 35 years old. He's not even a Fitzpatrick or a Josh McCown who got better with age. Like, he just had his worst season ever. So, yeah, I don't want Tua, D'Lo, all right? I don't want Kyler Murray, all right? You said Tyler. It's Kyler Murray. I don't want them. I would have been more happy going out, and I would have been more happier with Malik Willis than getting Geno Smith.
Well,
at least you're getting
Malik Willis. Malik Willis was a good pickup. Malik Willis was a good pickup.
That's what I'm saying. But he's younger. But like I said, if you're going to go on, like, really, what is this? He's got to know that they're bringing him in, transitional 1 year. They're hoping that he fucking sucks. Because why? They're hoping that he does for the Jets next year that he did for the Raiders this year, where he single-handedly got him to the number 1 pick in the draft.
I don't know about single-handedly. Raiders were pretty bad.
D'Lo's on here talking about Gardner Minshew. Could have had Gardner Minshew. Brock was real happy when I talked to him at work today about the Cardinals picking him up. Not really. He wasn't happy about Gardner.
Why is D'Lo in the chat and not on the podcast? Is he on assignment? Did you put him on assignment?
Put him on assignment. Yeah, D'Lo's on assignment. He's taking all the rope out of the house so that way I don't hang myself, because that's what you want to do as a Jet fan right now. Me and Mackay talked about. And also, we had talked yesterday towards the end of the podcast about I had said something about New England didn't do anything. Well, New England did something last night when I woke up this morning. I didn't even know that this guy was a free agent and that the Jets let him walk. But the Patriots signed former Jets guard Vera Tucker. Now, he has been injury prone, but we just let him walk out the building. You know what I'm saying? But they want to keep a guy that has a surgically repaired knee and throw the fucking franchise tag on him in Breece Hall when you could just go out and just draft Jeremiah Love. But this is the shit that the Jets do. And you were right. I was thinking, hey, listen, Aaron Glenn, like this past season, wasn't really an indication of how he's going to be as a head coach. I'm like, he's actually a better coach than this. He got straddled with a bad team. I said this last year. I remember coming on the podcast last year when we signed Justin Fields. But when we signed Justin Fields last year, I was adamant of what was going to happen. And it's replaying again. This is Groundhog's Day, but instead of Justin Fields, it's Geno Smith. They're going back to the well that was poisoned 9 years ago, and they're going to bring him in. And I'm telling you, like Woody Johnson, or I don't know if he's a mastermind behind this, and he's bringing him back to fuck the team up so that way they do get the pick. They're hot on him right now. Sell the team, but I dare go out and find one Jet fan that is happy about this trade today. I don't care about we didn't give up compensation, though. At first, I was pissed because when I had read it that he still had 2 years, $66 million. 18.5 of it was still guaranteed on his contract. And they said that if the Jets would have waited until Wednesday, they could have got him for the league minimum when he got released. So I was like furious then, because I was just like, oh, are you shitting me? But they said they would have had a battle with Minnesota over him. But dude, I would have let Minnesota have this guy. And I'm sure you guys wouldn't have minded either, because he'd be throwing fucking passes to your D-backs 2 games a year. You know what I'm saying? But I'm frustrated. I've been frustrated. We haven't made the playoffs since 2010. The last time that we had a winning season was the year that that Geno Smith got his jaw broke and Fitzpatrick came in and led us to a 10-6 record. We didn't make the playoffs, but he led us to the record. We have been the worst, even worse than the Browns, than the Raiders, than the Cardinals. We have been the worst team because we haven't made the playoffs since 2010. We've went through head coaches. We go through quarterbacks. We go through general managers. And it's just like they continue to just say the Jet fans will suck it up because we're used to it. We're used to misery. We're used to sadness. We're not lonely because the Jet fans are together, but goddamn, it's just like, I don't know. But go ahead and ask me another question because I'm D'Lo says, if you were Arch, would you pull an Eli if the Jets draft him? Well, you know that's a Jetsy thing to do, D'Lo. That's something that would probably happen. So, but go ahead, Bennett. Ask me a question.
Well, okay. On a different note, the Jets did sign a cornerback from the Bears. Me and D'Lo know a lot about Nashawn Wright for a very cheap price, which me and D'Lo had talked about. It's unbelievable. The year that he had last year was phenomenal. Probably one of, if not the best defensive back for the Bears last year. And they got like good defensive backs. And this guy just came out of nowhere. And the Jets got him for 1 year, $5 million.
But D'Lo said he showed weakness down the stretch. I think he was talking about
He does. It's not that he showed weakness down the stretch. He showed weakness. He got burned consistently throughout the year, most of the time in one-on-ones down the field in deep coverage. But like he kind of plays those 50-50 balls. Like as a cornerback, you don't see that a lot. But there was times where he'd go up and get a pick and take it out of receiver's hands. Now, when you do that, you're going for the ball, you're going to get burned sometimes, but that's just how that guy plays. But, I mean, that's a
we have to. We had to do this. We had to go
high risk, high reward kind of thing that he plays with.
Well, do you know why we had to do this? We had to do this because, for one, we let Reed walk at the end of last season. You know what I'm saying? Who was one of our starting corners. We traded away Sauce Gardner, which everybody knows. I was okay with that. It seems to have worked out. Sauce Gardner didn't do anything for the Colts. And the Jets are going to get, the draft picks out of it. But we had signed in free agency last year or the year before. We had signed him, Brandon Stevens. Signed him to that nice contract that he had no business getting. And he was horrible. Got benched. So now I'm starting to look at it and I'm like, is this an indication of the coaching? Is this what Aaron Glenn is this what he's bringing to and I hate to think that because he had success with the Lions, coaching the D, but he's not just coaching the D now. He's got to coach everything. And when all that is put onto your plate. Go ahead, Bob.
Let me say this. I was going to say, it's poor Aaron Glenn because he got 1 year with a crack team in the Lions, and they thought maybe he could turn something around, do anything to give him some life. That didn't work out. That didn't happen. So then they're going to, instead of them just go ahead and getting rid of him in the offseason, they are going to keep him. They're going to give him another shot this year. And then you see this happen. It's like poor Aaron Glenn. Well, if Aaron Glenn has his hands in this Geno Smith thing at all, then fuck poor Aaron Glenn. He deserves what he gets. But if he has nothing to do with this is a very unfair situation that Aaron Glenn's been put in as his first chance as a head coach. If he has nothing to do with this, if this is all GM, all owner, I'd probably sue the organization for defamation of my character. Yeah. You're making me look like I'm a shitty coach when I'm not that bad, but you guys don't know how to run a football team.
I feel like D'Lo might be putting some on Aaron Glenn because he said it's a big difference from coordinating and being a head coach, and that's true. It could be a lot, but Aaron Glenn I feel like last season he weathered a lot of storms and handled them pretty good, but he was pulling for Fields. But when it was time last year, D'Lo, he did bench him. You know what I'm saying? But this is just like. I don't know. Hell, D'Lo had told me yesterday that there was a rumor, and I don't know how close it was, but about the Jets willing to offer a first round draft pick for Matt Jones. That was even more that, but that's got meat on the bone. There's no meat on the bone of this Geno Smith. And listen, I would absolutely love it if he came out, balled out, you know what I'm saying, took us to the playoffs. I would come on here and say I was fucking wrong. I didn't know what the hell I was talking about, and give him all the praise and credit. I just don't see that happening. That's not how Jet stories are written and told. All right, that's a fairy tale. I'm just saying, reverse this. What if this was the Bears, and the Bears, you struggle, and you have had struggles at the quarterback position. You know what I'm saying? You might have found it in Caleb Williams now, but imagine this if this happened to you. You know what I'm saying? And this was the Bears bringing in Geno Smith. You'd be banging your head off the kitchen table.
This is terrible. It makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, it's not even. It's not 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's 2 steps back and then another step back. I mean, this is just bad. Like, if anyone can't see this, anyone can't see this, then you have no right to be watching football or even an opinion. This is just bad news. Even if he does ball out and has a good year, it's still not a very good decision originally. There was other options out there. This was not the best option.
Listen, if you're going to don't go out and just take the worst piece of shit. There could have been a worse one. But they didn't even give it time. Like, they were in such a rush. Like, at this point in time, I would have rather you drafted some guy in the 2nd or 3rd round and took a gamble on him than Geno. It just doesn't make. He's just not good. D'Lo said Breece Hall is going to break Geno's jaw over a gambling debt, probably because he's asking for more money than what Hall is. They restructured. I just don't know. It's very frustrating what this organization is doing, but to sit back and say you're tanking. And for them to be like, we're not tanking. Like, you're actually thinking, like, there are some good pickups, and I see them filling holes. But you're letting guys walk.
You don't need Geno Smith to tank. Your team was already bad enough.
Yeah.
You didn't need Geno Smith to tank. This is something more obvious instead of, like, trying not to tank. This is like, yeah, we're going to tank, but now we're going to show you how stupid we are as well. Why we're tanking. It's like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all.
Yeah. Like D'Lo said, there was no need to trade for him. He was going to get released. And the whole thing is, I felt like what we did was maybe he didn't want to come back to New York. And now it's kind of like you're forcing him to because you traded for him instead of letting him make the decision on where he wanted to go. You know what I'm saying? Like I want guys that want to play for us. You know what I'm saying? Unless it comes to the draft. But when it comes to free agency, you want guys that want to come play for your organization. You want guys that want to play for your team. You know, it's like if we drafted, let's say we drafted Mendoza this year. If he was like, no, I don't want to be there, it's like, fuck it, you're going to be there. Because you're the best option, and I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, D'Lo said he publicly stated he wanted to come back, but then probably because we're in dire need, and in his mind, you know what I'm saying, he was just like, it was too hard to pass up. Like, for him, I don't know. He probably believes in his own ego. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but to bring him back, it didn't end well the first time. All right? Like, this would be different if you brought back Sam Darnold. Because at least when Sam Darnold was there, it wasn't nobody punched Sam Darnold and broke his jaw over gambling debt, and you had all that. So it'd be totally different. Just bringing him back, it doesn't look good. Tyson's agent would have been a better option without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure, but we're not trying to give up Tyson's agent.
Yeah. It's just
No, they could have
like I
went.
said,
They could have went multiple different ways. They could have went multiple different ways and been better. Geno
like,
Smith.
I'm not big on Pavian, the quarterback that's coming out from Vanderbilt. I wasn't
Give
real
it a
big on
shot.
all them. Yeah,
Give it a shot.
now when you put the options up and you're like Pavian, Ty Simpson, you put these guys up or Geno Smith, I'm taking the rookie, and maybe the guy can become a star. Who knows? But I just know what Geno Smith brings to the dance, and it's not good, and he's late to the dance. It's not, it's nothing. He said Bears are asking for a second for him.
Yeah, I
That's what
seen
Taylor
that.
just said. So
The Steelers. The Steelers are the only one I heard that were inquiring so far.
yeah, but like I said, like I wonder how much was their insight. Like I did hear a thing about the Jets. I was reading about it where they were actually interested and was talking with Jacksonville about getting Thomas, the receiver, from them. And I was like, once again, it's like, but not with these guys. And then you're talking about Carson Wentz. Like Carson Wentz and Geno Smith are the two guys you bring in when you're looking to tank. Those are the guys that you're bringing in because you want to suck. You know what I'm saying? And it's clear and obvious. Kirk Cousins, that was a name. Like what was the talk with David? With, you know what I'm saying, with Carr, like that. That was intriguing to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Those are guys that have had more than just 2 seasons of success when they're 35 years old. Like
I think a lot of this has to do with ownership. Like you said, everybody's begging for him to sell the team. Man, do you remember me? You don't remember because I brought it up and you were like dumbfounded about it. Me and D'Lo knew about it. His son, a young kid, he's probably older now. He's probably like in his mid or early 20s. I think he was like a late teenager then, but he came out and like stopped the team meeting a couple years ago to give Garrett Wilson a game ball and was like totally immature about it, like shouting out loud, "No, this is the fucking guy. He gets the fucking game ball." This kid, and dude, it almost seems like this kid is running this team. That's how dumb this shit is.
Well, have you ever seen? There was a great. It's on Netflix.
What's his name? His name is Johnson. He's got one of them douchebag names, Gunner or
right. Chip. Probably Chip.
Yeah, that's a douchebag name.
No, I'll tell you what. Netflix has an awesome series of sports stories, and they did one on. It was called Crime and Penalties, and it was about the mafia gangster who bought his son a minor league hockey team, the Danbury Trashers, and he was only 17. Made him the GM. The kid loved 2 things: hockey and pro wrestling. So he's like mixing in. He went and got a bunch of guys and was fighting. But this is what it is. Like this kid is just like Woody Johnson has said, "Fuck it." Like I don't even know. I thought he was in Trump's cabinet, but obviously he isn't. Or else, last time when Trump was in office, his brother Chris took over the team, and we saw a smidgen of success, a little bit better under him. Woody Johnson is like a Vince McMahon. He's done lost it. He's a 70-some-year-old that thinks he knows what we want, you know what I'm saying, or how to build a team, and he has no fucking clue. It was good bringing Aaron Glenn in because he was a former Jet. Fans loved him, and all the other coaches in the league had high praise for this guy, so it made sense. Rodgers said he wanted to make things right in New York, is what D'Lo said. At this point, you're offering. I'm willing to bring. I'm like, Rodgers, come on back. Compared to Geno Smith, like, listen, and this is the history. You've seen me go through this. This is the ups and downs where we. This has always been. This is always the Jet being. We brought in McDonald back in the 90s after he was hot, or O'Donnell when he was hot with the Steelers. Had that season where they almost took him to the Super Bowl. Remember what I'm talking about?
He did signed him. Super Bowl. Then he threw 4 interceptions.
Garbage. He was garbage for the Jets. We wasted all our money. We did bring in Testaverde, and that was a bright spot. Geno was, Testaverde was a bright spot for us. But then Rodgers, Favre, we brought in these guys with high hopes of they're going to take us to the Super Bowl because, Neil O'Donnell, because we've been craving it. I am right now wearing a Broadway Joe jersey because outside of Vinny Testaverde, we ain't had a quarterback that was worth shit. We've had small blimps on the radar, but we're still looking for a guy to replace someone who's like 78 years old and gets drunk and tries to kiss women on the sidelines, the sideline reporters who don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're still living in Broadway Joe's shadow, and we can't find a replacement. We drafted guys. Like, we could have had Dan Marino, but guess what? We took Ken O'Brien. This is the history of the Jets. And that's why I always say, Chad Pennington was decent, but he had no arm strength. Couldn't throw the deep ball.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
the Jets desperately need a culture change. And I thought that they had one for a second, and it seemed like they did when they brought in Rex Ryan, because he wasn't going to be bullied by he wasn't going to be bullied by a GM. He wasn't going to be bullied by an owner. That's why he's still not. That's why he's not there. But they need someone like that.
He found success with Mark the Slasher Sanchez. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mark Sanchez, the slasher. This dude comes in and goes to 2 AFC championship games. And that's why, still to this day, we're talking about Rex Ryan. Like, I wish that they would have gave him a chance instead of bringing Aaron Glenn in. Because why he changed the culture when he came in. We got when Rex Ryan came in, Jet fans walked with a little bit more swagger. Like, you know what I'm saying? He really had us drinking the Kool-Aid. But then the fall down happened, and he left. And ever since then, every team that we put out has been shit almost, even though there's been seasons where we went out and just threw all kinds of money at free agents. We've done that. And nothing's panning out in the last almost 16 years since Rex Ryan, Mark Sanchez took us to 2 AFC championship games. So
you need a culture changer, man. You really do. You guys need a culture changer. And is there one out there today in the NFL?
Here's the thing.
Mike Tomlin?
Well, that is the mistake that they made was they decided to. I think it was a little early firing Saleh. There was a little premature firing Saleh. Yeah, but if you're going to do a total rebuild and you're going to have this, you need a strong and sturdy coach that has been a head coach that's dealt with this to handle these young men and these veterans, a guy that can get attitudes in check. And instead of bringing in a first-time head coach, that's what they needed to do, and they didn't do that. And like I said, I am Aaron Glenn. It's starting to sour on me because I'm like, how much does he have his handprint on this team right now? Because if this is him, then I'm already like, we're about to fire him. But this is going to lead. You know what's going to happen here. We're going to have a shitty season. And if we have another shitty season, Woody Johnson is probably going to fire him, maybe the general manager, and they're going to rebuild because they're going to have those draft picks next year. And he's going to put it all on Aaron Glenn. And Aaron Glenn does have to take a portion of this has to be put on his shoulders. Like you can't, but if they do get rid of him, they need to bring in somebody. And like you just said, Tomlin, that's a guy though, no nonsense, like this. He ain't putting up with no bullshit. I just don't know how well he would handle the bright lights of New York. And that also hampers us sometimes.
I think he'd be great. I think he'd be great in New York. But like as far as what you're saying right now, like if I was Aaron Glenn and I really did not have any say-so in what's going on, I wouldn't even start the fucking season. I'd walk right now. I'd be like, I quit. You ain't got to fire me. You ain't got to wait till the end of the next season. I quit. I'm not going to allow my name to be put on this product that we're getting ready to put out this year.
Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly like, and he should, because right now, and like I said, I like some of the moves that they made in signing a free agency. I know dealing really shit on the Fitzpatrick safety that we traded for with the Dolphins, but we've struggled at finding a safety, and so at least he brings some veteran leadership back there. And I'm not expecting him to revert back to when he had some good, but he's only 29. Then it's right. The Jets are going to ruin Glenn. They already have. They
already did. They did last season. This is them sticking the fucking fork in him. He's done.
But I mean, come on, dude. Like, you get rid of Glenn now. Like, when we just fired our defensive coordinator, our offensive coordinator, and all of our staff, we went back through and had to rehire. That's why we brought in Frank fucking Wright to be our offensive coordinator. Frank fucking Wright. I don't know. That's where the connection with Carson Wentz comes in because of his relationship with him. And I'm just like, no. If you're and when I say they fire Glenn, and it's going to happen because if you're going out there with him as with Geno Smith as your quarterback, we're going to be doomed. So he's going to get fired after the season because why? Woody Johnson is going to want to restart with a new quarterback and a coach. And so when he does that, when he does fire him, they can't bring in Frank Wright or somebody like that. You got to bring in somebody that has won in the NFL, that these guys respect. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to have to happen. But this isn't when or if they fire him. With this product that they're putting out, they're going to fire Aaron Glenn. And I don't even know if he'll make it the whole season. They didn't let Saleh then. And like I said, Saleh, I don't know what he's going to do. He's making some moves in Tennessee. He might surprise us there, you know what I'm saying? But you're gonna rebuild and you're gonna restart, which is probably what they're gonna do after this season.
In Tennessee, it was a pretty bad year. Things can't get much worse, so I think he's gonna pick it up. Whereas the Jets, you're like, things can't get worse, and they just did.
Yeah.
The Raiders are making moves where the Raiders won't be a dog shit team again next year. The Raiders are doing everything right. The Jets are like, they were on the same level as the Raiders last year. So you can't go anywhere but up, but instead the Jets are finding a way to go down further.
Nope.
It's crazy.
Now, maybe what's happening here, play devil's advocate. Maybe what they're going to do is they're going to draft a quarterback. They're going to probably use, because, they had the same record. So in the second round, they have the number one pick in the second round. All right. We have 2 second rounders this year. We have 2 first rounders. Maybe they take a quarterback in the second round. Maybe it's Fabian. Maybe it's Ty Simpson. Maybe they take one of those guys, and Geno Smith is just going to be the veteran leadership. And they're going to end up drafting a quarterback. Because why would you not give Aaron Glenn his choice? Say, Aaron Glenn, you pick the quarterback this year. You're not going to be able to get Mendoza, but draft the quarterback that you want, and we're going to let it ride. And then if you fail, you're going to be fired at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? But maybe they do draft a quarterback in this year's draft, though none of them look sexy or anything like that. None of them is a sexy pick that you want to take. But maybe he gets to take one and he gets to try to groom that quarterback in one season to try to save his job. But if the Jets finish with the worst record, they're firing him. They're going to restart with somebody else and let them roll with those 3 draft picks that they have next year. There's 3 number ones next year. You think
what's the over under on the Jets win this year? 3.
With Geno Smith starting the whole season, or until they pull him and put in Brady Cook or something like that.
I don't care who it is.
Dude, we played your division this year.
Yeah.
No. You guys are being kind right now at giving them. Delo's saying 3.5. You're saying 3. Dude, I don't know if they would win 2 games.
I don't think they
Brees Hall's acting like a crybaby bitch right now. So he's going to be pissed, but then he can't go out and play like total dog shit because he's just on that 1-year deal, and other teams are going to be looking at him, and if he wants to get paid. But right now,
I'm going to give them. Listen to me. I'm going to give them 1 game that they win this year, and that's the only reason I'm giving them 1 game. Is because the NFL season is switched from 16 to 17. That gives you 1 extra bullshit chance for onside kick, Hail Mary, last second field goal, something bouncing off an upright, a weird ass fumble, something at the last second, some game that you shouldn't even been in, but you're still in by the 4th quarter. So I give them 1 win this year. That's what I give them.
I'm not disagreeing with you. That is a logical. That's a logical pick because what we're looking at right now, it's just like the thing is, will Garrett Wilson still be on this team at the end of the season, or will he have become trade bait? Because maybe Woody Johnson's like, do you know what's better than 3 first-round draft picks, 4 or 5? I mean, seriously, it took us a while. It took us, I think it took us 7 or 8 games, D'Lo. D'Lo asked, how long did it take for us to get our first win? And it was crazy because first game of the season last year was against Pittsburgh. And we ended up losing either in overtime or whatever. We lost by like 3, but it was tied. We were battling back and forth. It gave us hope. I was like, oh, shit. Justin Fields did not play that bad in that game. So it gave us hope to where I was like, oh, shit, we're not going to be that bad. Thankfully, when me and Mackay got to go check out the Jets in New York, we got – that's that 1 win that you're talking about was when we went there, and maybe we didn't have any business beating the Falcons at the time, but we got that win. It was overtime, got that field goal. You know what I'm saying? So maybe – that was so lucky, you know what I'm saying? Because the Jet thing really to do was for me to go first time ever going to Jet Life Stadium and seeing my team play. I was surprised they didn't get their asses beat. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really a Jetsy thing to happen. But they were like, "Buck, we put you and your son." I brought my son into this world. That should be criminal. Because my son is a Jet fan. At least I had 2 other sons that were smart enough to be like, yeah, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? They so bad that they forced my other son to go follow the Arizona Cardinals. And now he's in misery. But what was his options? Be misery with the Cardinals or be a miserable Jet fan like me and his brother? You know what I'm saying? Man, I have been a Jet fan since 86, 87. Been a Jet fan for a long time, a lot of seasons, and I always try to look at the glass as half full. But man, dude, as I get older, and I'm just wondering, not will they win a Super Bowl? Can they even get to a damn Super Bowl? And I'm going to have to say no, not with Woody Johnson as the owner. I'll take back fucking Hess, who was our old owner, man. It's just those nights, those games are so far removed from the AFC Championship game and Vinny Testaverde and the come from behind win on Monday night against the Dolphins with Jumbo Elliott catching that pass. Those seem like the glory days. And man, dude, we are in a tunnel that I don't see the end of, and that's horrible as a Jet fan.
Well, I sit here and not being a fan, or not even caring about like the AFC or the AFC East, but I watch the Jets because of you, either A, to make fun of you, or B, to watch like the Jets have good players. They have good players all the time. Like players I'm interested in, and from Sauce Gardner, your tight end that you got right now. I've been watching him because you liked him. Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, going back before that. Daryl Rivas. Just
We just
so
have
many guys. I wouldn't pay
two
attention
former
to just because
players.
you're my friend.
Yeah.
The Jets have had players. They've had good drafts. They've had epic drafts. Manigold, Ferguson. That was an epic draft.
Sam Darnold
They
just
don't
won a
put it
Super
together.
Bowl. Yeah. Well, Sam Darnold just won a Super Bowl, and when he won it, the first person he went and hugged was Williams. But we drafted him back 2015, something like that. He was our edge rusher, defensive tackle, one of the two. But we had shipped him out, and he went to the Giants. Ended up going to Seattle and just won a Super Bowl. That was the first guy that Sam Darnold went up and hugged, and it was like former Jet teammates. High draft pick for the Jets, and these guys just went and won a Super Bowl. Yeah, D'Lo's naming off Curtis Martin. We didn't draft him, but awesome deal with the Patriots, and he had many years success. First 4 years with the Patriots, but he had many more years of success with the Jets after they brought him in. Wayne Corbell, I loved him because that was the flashlight to Keyshawn Johnson's start. But Keyshawn Johnson, a guy that we drafted number 1 overall, which that could have been the year we got him. That could have been the year that we would have drafted Manning. But Manning decided we had the number 1 pick. Manning decided to go back to Tennessee for his senior year. So we took Keyshawn Johnson. And the only thing he ever did in New York was make Wayne Corbett look like a star. So, yeah, Lavernius Coles, we've had Jericho Cotchery. We've had some of these players.
Yeah, you got people worth watching on the television, and you would start watching the Jets, and it's like, oh, they're shitty. But you look at this guy, and it's like, man, this guy ain't that bad. If he'd be somewhere else, he'd be fucking killing.
Yeah, damn. Yeah.
It's so bad to where, trust me, me and D'Lo we're 1 year removed from being in the same boat with you. We know what it looks like to have like the plan, to have the idea, like we're going to be good this year. We got some structure, and then it just all falls apart within like 5 games. And I believe that last year, like with Ben Johnson, with everything that was happening, I've been saying the Bears were going to be good. The Bears were going to be good. And last year I didn't. Like everybody around me was like, hey man, Bears look all right. I was like, I say that every fucking year for the last fucking 45 years of my life. It hasn't worked out. So I'm not going to say the Bears didn't. And then 7-8 games into it, they're like, Bears don't look bad. And I'm like, no, there's plenty of holes there. I was like a pessimist. I'm never a pessimist in my life. I was like a pessimist though. And I was like, no, there's plenty of holes there. They're not going to. And they beat the Eagles. And I was like, well, maybe these guys can do something. And then you start seeing this and that. But with the Jets, you just haven't seen nothing since Rex Ryan.
That's true. That's the truth. Little bit of magic was sprinkled on us with Fitzpatrick when he had that. And Josh McCown tried to come in and save us. But, yeah, they're just – I think we had in 2015, the season I'm talking about when Fitzpatrick came in and took over, we had Marshall. We had Brandon Marshall on the team. You know what I'm saying? And he was playing good football. You know what I'm saying? But that was the last year that the Jets really put out a good competitive team was 2015. And since then, it's been one Band-Aid after another. Don't forget, we used a 2nd-round pick to draft Christian Hackenberg. Like, we were like, what the fuck? But with Zach Wilson, he had 1 season starting at BYU, and we brought him on. We drafted him so high It's just we've done well drafting others at other position, but the fact is they're not with the Jets anymore. Either we traded them away or they left via free agency. The John Abrahams, the Muhammad Wilkersons, these guys, man, that we've had really good players, but besides Rex Ryan, but
you know what you need? I can tell you how to cure all of this right now, Phil. Woody Johnson needs to hire Coach Phil and Coach Bennett. Come in there and handle the situation. You need someone so stupid, so belligerently when they come in there and Woody Johnson, I'm going to do this. And Coach Phil slaps the shit out and said, we ain't doing none of that. And while he's trying to get up off the ground, Coach Bennett gets behind him and gives him a rear naked choke. I mean, that's how bad it is. You need a caveman to come in there, and when the owner steps in the room, say, "You're in my fucking locker room. Go back to your office, or I'm gonna slap you in your fucking mouth."
Yeah, he said it could easily have. He said Ben Johnson showed him. Ben Johnson showed D'Lo how much a good head coach matters. He said he could have us just as easily been the Jets coach and us have Glenn and be in my shoes right now. He said hire Belichick. That's what D'Lo's thing was. That might get brought.
That's a culture difference. Belichick's going to come in. He's going to tell you, get that fucking GM out of the building.
Same thing. Like this same thing with bringing Geno Smith back in. There's history there, and it's not good. Belichick was the Jets head coach for one day and then resigned and took the job there. What we need is an owner that is more like Bob Kraft, all right, and less like Jerry Jones or that fucking the Raiders, Al Davis. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't need somebody like that. The team don't need your thumbprint on it. You need to let the head coach do their job, but it's also your job to go out and find. This is why you have interview process. Find the guy that can lead young men and older veterans, you know what I'm saying, that don't put up with the bullshit, but listens, you know what I'm saying, that knows how to talk to the media. Because, listen, no matter something that would happen in Pittsburgh, that would be blown up times 10 in the New York market because that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? And you need somebody that can handle the bright lights of New York and not give a fuck. But I don't know if Woody Johnson is looking for yes men, and I don't know now.
He's definitely looking for yes men. He's definitely looking for yes men.
And that's sad because then, and if Aaron Glenn would go, like I said, then if I'm Aaron Glenn, and if Aaron Glenn doesn't, if he said, you're not going to let me put my quarterback that I want to, a guy that I want to sign, then I'm leaving. Walk out the damn door.
I'd walk out tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Because I don't know if you know this, Lou Holtz was once the New York Jets head coach in 1974. They fired him before the season even. He went 3-10, and they ended up firing him because of how horrible he was. You know what I'm saying? He was one of those guys that better off coaching in college than in the thing. Kind of like a Saban. Saban was not very good. Or was he with the Dolphins? Like or Atlanta, whatever. He was not very good. But in college, he knew his thing. I don't know, man. But it's just the next coach that the Jets get.
I think Dino's on the right path there. I think Belichick's maybe too old, but he would definitely set the record straight. He would go in there and say, get rid of the fucking GM. I'm the GM now. I'm the coach. This is my shit. I don't give a fuck what the players say. We're running this regiment for practice. We're doing it this way. If you don't like it, you shouldn't have hired me in the first place. Belichick would definitely work. That's definitely a culture builder. But I think he's too old. Tomlin.
Hey, there's the old guy, but I'll tell you.
Here's what I'm afraid of about Tomlin. I think he could handle New York, but I think he would get in there and be a yes man because I think he'd be wearing fucking, he'd be sporting everything. You're in New York now. Hey, I'm New York head coach. I got fucking fur coats and chains and shit like that. Not to say that's what he would do, but He'd be out there like where he'd be all over the media constantly, and he knows how to handle the media very well. Tomlin does.
Yeah.
Where Belichick just shuts him down, Tomlin like accepts it, and he knows how to handle himself. He's got a silver tongue. But I think he's also a yes man to where he would be there to whatever your owner says, and you don't need that. You need somebody to tell the owner, shut the fuck up, step the fuck down, sit the fuck back, go back to your fucking office. I got this. You know, you ruined this. I would be as blunt as go far as say that. You've ruined this so far, you and you alone. Shut up, sit down, let me and the GM run this shit.
You want to know who I think that they could bring in that would be like that? He's old. He's older. He hasn't coached in a long time. But Bill Cowher, you stage and you got him there. Like, I totally believe that Bill Cowher would be like, the only way he's going to come out is to do things his way. He's not going to come out. That's what you want, though. That's who you need to go after, is somebody that's like, look, dude, if I come there, I come out of retirement, I do this, it's my way or the highway. And I want that in writing. Like, D'Lo said John Gruden.
John Gruden.
Is he
I was thinking that myself.
Is he not blackballed by the league after the Vegas shit?
No, I thought he got interviews last year.
Really? Chucky, having Chucky up in there? I don't know, man. But all I'm saying is that it's more likely that the Jets will be looking for a new head coach in 2027, and they're going to try to.
Here's the thing why they're looking for a new head coach. You're only going to get one of two head coaches that's going to take that job. You're either going to get a brand new guy that just wants a head coaching job, like a coordinator or something like that. He just wants a chance in the NFL. Or you're going to get a guy that says, I want my legacy to be I turn the Jets around. You're not going to get a middleman. You're not going to get a Mike McCarthy. All right? You're not going to get someone that's been there and can run a football organization. This thing is a fucking circus, and you're only getting one of two things. You're getting a guy that wants a chance, or you're getting a guy that says, if you're bringing me in, I'm going to change this shit, and you shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. And more likely or not, it's going to be the new guy that don't ever get his way and has to bow down and listen to ownership and whoever the GM is, and it's just not good. It's a vicious cycle that's been in New York.
Yep. Well, listen, here's going to tell you, coming up in the draft, this is where it's going to tell you if they're serious, if the ownership and the team is serious about competing this year, or if they're washing it all and throwing it into 2027. And that's if they trade away our second round pick. If they trade that away to somebody and the picks are next year in 2027, because we have 2 first rounders this year. But if they trade one of those away, I'm telling you, that right there is a sign when you could have 2 young rookies coming in and playing this year. If they throw it into next year, then you know that they're saying fuck it, and they're doing it for the whole NFL to see. And they should force Woody Johnson, force his ass to sell the team, like the way that the NBA did that owner of the Clippers.
Well, didn't they do that to Snyder too with the Redskins? Didn't they do that to Snyder? Like they didn't force him, but they just gave him so much shit that he eventually just like, I'm done.
They forced it. They forced it, man. So because he was against trading
too. This man is a complete fucking moron that runs $1 billion fucking organization, and he's made it the laughing stock to where we're on here at a fucking dog shit podcast talking about it, where large podcasts are talking about all the time, and sometimes they don't use the same language we do, but everybody knows this whole organization is dog shit from bottom to top, from top to bottom. We're talking about players, coaches, podcasters, fans, everybody. They know this is bullshit. This is stupid. What are you doing with this? Get this fucking guy out of there. Get Woody Johnson the fuck out of New York. Kick his ass out of New York.
D'Lo said, how many linebackers do you think?
Don't live in Vermont or something. Don't live in Pennsylvania. Don't bring your ass to fucking across state lines no more.
No, this team would struggle to win in the UFL, for heaven's sakes. But D'Lo said, how many linebackers do you think go in the first? He said he thinks 3, and the Jets could be one.
No, don't answer none of D'Lo shit. Don't answer none of D'Lo shit. If he wasn't man enough to get on the podcast, we're not answering his shit.
Well,
D'Lo, you're soft.
Oh, he said not linebackers. He said QBs. I think one quarterback is going in the first round. I think the rest of them are all going in the second round. So I don't think anybody's going to waste one of those picks. I think that there's other players that are more deserving. But
I'm not going to waste. I'm not going to waste my answer on D'Lo's questions.
Yeah. I don't know. It's yeah. This isn't the XFL. It's supposed to be the NFL. Be competitive, and the Jets aren't being competitive, and they haven't been competitive, and they're in a market where the lights shine bright on them, and yet you would think that the NFL would want them as a team that is in the largest market. As 2 teams that are in the largest market, the NFL wants the Jets to do well. So if the owner isn't going to put them in that, then maybe you're going to have to take the team away from them, forcing them to sell. I don't know.
The NFL does not care if the Jets do well because they got the same team in the same market. As long as one of them do well, which neither one of them are, but the Giants are on the up and up. As long as one of them do well, that's all the NFL cares about. They don't care if the other team's dog shit.
Yeah. He said, consider nobody asking you shit. You're good, Bennett. He's publicly attacking you now on the podcast. But
let him attack through the comments all he wants because he ain't man enough to step on the podcast.
Yeah. I actually sent him the link just in case he wanted to join in. But
unfortunately, his back is acting up.
And I said something yesterday about them they brought in 2 of the Jets' former defensive ends, John Franklin Myers, and then they just brought in Jermaine Johnson. They traded with the Jets for him. And then I look at it, and who's their head coach? It's Robert Saleh, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and now it's making sense. And watch him take these guys because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like Woody Johnson put handcuffs on him and then made him the fall guy, as he's done with so many other guys. We haven't had – I like the GM that we had before this guy, but we used to have one of the best ones in Tannenbaum. Tannenbaum was an awesome GM. Yeah. And he was so good that like ESPN and these companies still use him as an expert on teams. And he was with the Jets for so many – our best years – we went to 2 AFC championship games when Rex Ryan was there, when we were drafting these players and they were being stars for us. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard, man. It's hard to get a good head coach, and it's hard to get a good GM. And unfortunately, the Jets have just struggled. Like I said, we had, what was that bum's name as our head coach? Just Adam Gase. God, like, Bug Eyes, like, come on, man. Like, this has been a sinking ship, and it's going slower. It's going so slow into the ocean, like an old man going into a warm bath. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, Jet fans are forced to watch this shit. And the season just started the other day, and I'm already wondering if we've thrown the towel in on this season coming up. That's –
oh, you throw the towel. You're throwing the towel.
Yeah. Well, all right, bud. We've been on here for almost an hour, man. It's good we got to talk. It's good I got to vent about the Jets. And like I said, I don't see no light at the end of the tunnel, but you never know, man. So anything else you want to add before we jump up off here, Bennett?
I just want to reiterate one win for the Jets this year.
And I can't even argue against that. Like, I want to, as a Jet fan, I want to see it. I am so against like us sitting players or us losing games like towards the end of the season. I always want to see my team win. I love seeing my team win. And it sucks when, you know what I'm saying? You see that shit because, yeah, you want good draft picks, but like I said, I never root for my team to lose. And I hate thinking that we haven't even played a game for the 2026 season, and it's already looked like we threw it in. So let's hope that maybe they're going to wow. Maybe they're going to wow me with the draft, and I hope so. And I'm going to look back and be like, man, I was a dumbass for saying that. But history shows that's probably not going to happen. So, but all right. It's been another edition of the Worst Case Scenario podcast, and I'm on suicide watch.
Good night.
Other folks. Yep. Peace out.